The pros and cons for piering and beam foundation, they're different problems. The pro for I-beams is knowing if a wall is shifting and moving in, and if it's moved in an inch or 2.5 inches, or it's usually a wall, once it's reached about an inch of movement, it continues to shift and move, and so that's where the I-beams can come into play, where you can brace your walls, and that just ensures that if the wall starts to move, a lot of times there's either framing or there's utilities that can get compromised. That wall is just so heavy, if you don't put I-beams up, it can bust water lines or gas lines or duct work, or mess doors and houses and framing, or if a wall is, moved in 4 inches and beyond, at least, 5, 6, 10 inch of movement, well, you got to go in and excavate the outside of the wall and push the wall back straight. So if your walls are shifting and moving and you don't brace them, that's what you're looking at. You're looking at what we call a dig and push, and the price triples, as opposed to if you need to get your walls braced, well, it's going to cost a certain amount of money, and if you let it go for too long, well, then you got to talk about digging it and pushing it, and the price just goes up. The cons of not doing the beams is, well, there it is if it continues to shift and move, it's gonna either let a lot of water in, or it's gonna move into where the foundation itself can collapse or cause bigger issues on the inside. The pros for foundation piers are knowing that your house isn't going to sink. If it's sinking, if you're seeing big foundation cracks or sheetrock cracks, or doors aren't opening and closing, and you've already shaved it a couple times and you're clearly seeing issues, well, that's where the piers can come into play, and the piers can basically help save your house so things don't get compromised too much, whether it's kitchen tile or plumbing issues, door, sometimes people, if a house continues to settle and shift and you physically can't get in and out your door, you can't close your door, it's a safety issue. So, and the cons is if you don't put piers in on a settling style issue, well, you're gonna be left with busted doors and that don't open and close, or windows that are breaking, and it just depends.